Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Dawson, and I'm joined today by Rosie Lynch over in Okmulgee. I am so excited to have her on with us today. Good morning, Rosie.
Good
It's good to
morning. Good
it's
morning.
great to see you, by the way. We have talked on the phone, but this is the first time we've met face to face, kind of.
it, it kind of right. I mean, eventually we'll do the physical blah. We see each other, but this welcome to the
Right?
new computer age where everybody gets a chance to talk to one another. And I'm thrilled that I'm here. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And we got to talk about your campaign, and we're going to talk about some other things. So, you know, let's just get right into it. What's going on in your part of the prairie?
Well, yeah, fine, but um, I am doing really well. There's a lot going on here. I will tell you what, I don't know if you've noticed it, but there is an excitement that is happening, not just among Democrats, but among independents and some Republicans as well over this race, not just mine, which I'm thankful for, but also over the presidential race. And up and down the ballot, people are talking about change and looking forward to new direction. And I am so here for it and ready to go. So yeah, it's a very exciting time here in Okmulgee, and especially being a Democrat.
And I have to agree with you. It really is. It just the I'm a delegate. I keep saying this. People who watch this on a regular basis, they probably get tired of me saying that. I was a delegate, went to the national convention up in Chicago. I can't get enough of it because it truly is an exciting time in the United States right now. People are sick of the division. They're sick of this misogyny that's going on, in the world. It's just so crazy. Not just the misogyny, the homophobia, but just tearing people apart, tearing families apart. The people are sick of it. They want to go back to a normal type of relationship where politics is not the primary thing that we talk about every day. It should be the exception, not the rule. And right now, because of the divisiveness, because of all the issues, it's become the common conversation, and it really shouldn't be. And that's because we've got somebody who's so radicalized, and it's allowed people to have that radicalized voice that just really we need to think about and kind of, I don't want to say put it back in the closet. That's probably not the right term, but we need to put it back in the shadows. We need to put it back in the shadows where it belongs.
I just keep going back to whatever happened to statesmanship, whatever
Yeah,
happened to politeness. And I was
right.
talking to a group yesterday, and I said, I love theater. I want to
Mhm.
see it in the Performing Arts Center, not in my politics. And at some point, we have to move beyond the sound bites and actually do real work for Oklahomans. And I
Right.
think is a truth for a lot of people that they're just ready for things to happen, and all the rhetoric and drama and everything that goes around that of I hate you or you're not with me. Can we not just come together as a community and as Oklahomans and really work for each other? And I'm watching that unfold and play out in my community,
Yeah.
and I'm excited about it. Yeah.
So you got a campaign coming up. You're really working hard. You're running for House District 16. Talk
Yes,
to us a
sir.
little bit about what's going on in House District 16 and some of the people that you're meeting and the conversations that you're having.
Well, I'm a busy woman, and anybody who knows me knows I'm really busy. I am a grad student. I'm also the director of the homeless shelter, the only homeless shelter for 4 counties. And so I have an intimate relationship with what is going on with people needing work and housing, affordable housing, and mental health, and all these other issues. And what I'm seeing is sort of this push and pull in the smaller communities about what are we going to do with all these evil homeless folks, when in reality all these people that are homeless are their neighbors. They're people who got caught in some sort of quicksand of losing a job or a health crisis or mental health, sometimes drugs. And in that process, they're losing their homes, they're losing their jobs. And so back in the day, we were talking earlier, back in the day, homelessness wasn't as visible because we had extended families living with us. But now we live in a different world, and our extended families maybe aren't living near us, or because of the opioid crisis and drug crisis, they're not able to help us. And so what I'm finding more and more, especially in Oklahoma County and the counties around us, is that people just need someone to not just give them a handout, but to walk with them to help them rise together and find housing, find jobs. So it's a pretty phenomenal thing to watch people who were once just absolutely destitute find safety, find mental health care through Creoaks, through workforce, and through Deep Fork, our wraparound services, to watch people get a home and start over. And it's phenomenal. I mean, you can't really touch it. It's one of those things that I'm very working with, and we're helping people find their space and where they're going. And I can see I have sun here, so I'm trying to move around it. It's phenomenal. And so watching this happen on a micro level, I really want to take this to the level and help bring some answers to people who are really in that sort of influx. So,
And it's not a surprise to anybody who lives in Oklahoma, but not only do we have a mental health crisis, we've got a health crisis.
yes,
Just in general, we've got a health crisis. But we've got a crisis of acknowledging that people need help, and people need help at multiple levels. Whether a person is um, on the critically handicapped spectrum that needs to have, somebody, a voice, talk to our legislators and bring them up to speed. That we've got to make sure that ADA standards are brought up to standard, that there is no exception for that. We've got to do it in our Capitol building. We've got to do it in all of our office buildings. All of our facilities have to be upgraded. And our legislature wants to ignore that. That's particularly our GOP
I think
legislators.
I think because, Kevin, it doesn't affect them directly. And
Yes,
that's sort of human nature, right? If it affects us directly, we're going to work on it.
right.
And so, unfortunately, some of those voices have been squashed, or maybe aren't as welcome to be heard. And I'm finding more and more people going, "Hey, what can we do?" Um, with the mental health crisis, that's part of the reason why I'm getting my graduate degree in counseling, is because in the rural community, um, counselors being available to help people that are indigent are almost non-existent. I mean, we have some phenomenal people, we have some phenomenal resources, but to get people to those resources, there's this gap. And so I don't know, it's just, how can we make that transition and bring community together and bring them to the services and give them the knowledge and the tools. The tools and the knowledge and the resources are there, but there's some sort of gap between getting people where they need to be and getting the resources. And so, yeah, it's a crisis that's unfolding. And unfortunately, people are holding the knowledge to their chest and don't want to share the information. And knowledge is power, but why not help your community member? I mean, it really doesn't, it's a no-brainer for me, you know? So I don't know. It's something that we're working through here in Okmulgee and Okmulgee County in my district, Tulsa. And I'm really proud of the work that people are doing, stepping up. So,
You know what? I'm excited though, because when you get elected, and I'm going to use that term, when you get elected,
yes,
you're
sir.
going to go over to the Capitol in Oklahoma City. You're going to be sitting across the aisle from a bunch of Republicans. And guess what? A lot of these people, as much as I vilify the Republicans, they're people. They
Yep.
are people, and they're our neighbors. But I vilify them. But here's the thing about you that I really enjoy. You're not afraid to go up and talk to them. You're not afraid to engage conversation with them. You're going to go up and you're going to grab them by the elbow and you're going to say, "Hey, brother, we need to talk about that." "Hey, sister, come on, we've got a real issue that is a problem, not just for me, but for we have a problem. And we've got to figure out how to address this. This isn't a me problem. This is a we problem."
That's
So
exactly right. Yep.
I'm excited for you. I really am. And I really think that people should
You.
get more excited and get behind Rosie because we really have this great possibility of bringing get this, folks, get this. This is an important message. Get this, a rural person, a
Yep.
person from rural Oklahoma to go to the Capitol to talk about progressive policy that can help Oklahomans. That's what I love about having you on
I
this
love it.
this call.
Thank you so
The,
much. One of the things I was thinking about, somebody called me woke the other day, which I thought was funny. And I was just like, well, if woke means caring for your neighbor, making sure grandma gets her prescriptions, making sure our veterans can get to their appointments, making sure our kids get the education they deserve, then why aren't we all woke? Why all of a sudden did this get vilified? And in my world, I'm very fortunate. We have a lot of Republicans here that are fine people that are very engaged in their community and making it better, as well as Democrats and independents. I'm the chair of the Democratic Party for my county. We're doing a lot of good things, and I invite everybody to join us. There's no limitation. I also go to the local GOP meetings. I'm not always welcome if I'm not a registered Republican, but I go because if we separate and live in this dynamic of us, them, we'll never get anything done. And I think that's one of the things that I want to take to the Capitol is we have to work together. Whether you like me or not, I'm not going away. And so let's work on it, right? Let's do something for our people and be proud of but what we're doing to help everybody. So yeah, it'll be an
and
interesting.
that is such an interesting part of the conversation. Is I don't know very many Democrats who will say, "All right, I'm going to go to the Republican, their office when they have their monthly meeting, and I'm going to go walk in." That just says a lot about you. And there is nobody going to have any intimidation and say, "Oh, you're not welcome here." You're going to shut that down in a hurry. So,
Yeah. Well, and honestly, Kevin, I don't want to make it a male female thing, but women have been breaking down doors for a long time. And
yes,
one of the things I know we have a few minutes that I'd like to discuss if this is okay, but
yeah,
we've got to get people registered to vote. One of my big things is women have fought long and hard for the vote, and I don't understand why people aren't registered. We all have till October 11th to be registered to vote for this coming election, and elections matter. I mean, yeah, everybody wants to come out for the president, but I don't know if you know this. If you want to vote Republican, you can do the straight party thing, but then go down to the person of your candidate, like me, Rosie Lynch for Oklahoma. I'm in House District 16, and you could circle a D, right? For that, all your other votes will count and it'll still count for me. And so most people don't realize that you want to vote straight party, but then go down through and pick the ones that you feel are best, whether they're in your party or not, and all the votes count. So that's the sidebar. But then also go out and register to vote. Native Americans only got the right to vote, what, in the 70s?
right,
African American community only got the right to vote in the late 60s. This is something that it's one of the few ways that our voice is heard. It's one of the few ways we can make change. And so I tell everybody, if you're mad, you heard Michelle Obama say it, don't get mad, don't boo, vote. And
right.
so if we're frustrated, if we want change, the only way policy and things happen is if you vote people into office that will do something and listen and be present. And so go to iwillvote.com, register to vote, whatever party you want to go for. I mean, man, I would love you to be a Democrat, but whatever party you vote for, vote, be active and engaged, and don't disengage because you're disappointed or, oh, my vote won't count, or whatever the things we tell ourselves to not be engaged. Have some courage. This is what I'd like to say today. Have some courage, have some gumption, some inner fortitude, and do it. Even if it's the first time or you haven't voted in a long time, check your status to make sure you're registered to vote and vote. So, I mean, I will shout that from the rooftops all the day long. I'm a suffragette. I have the flag, the suffragette flag in my house. And I recognize that women have historically not been heard for a long time. And that's part of what's wrong with our world. And so if you're female, if you're male, whatever, go vote. So
And I have to back you up on that 100%. IWillVote.com will help you. And also, if you think you're registered, but you're really not sure, Oklahoma has purged a lot of people. Just go to IWillVote.com. Tell your friends and family, go to IWillVote.com. It'll take you back to the state, the state website. It's very easy to go through. All you really have to do is put first name, last name, birthday, and it'll tell you whether you're registered or not. It also provides some other good information to you as well. It'll tell you what precinct you belong to. It'll actually even show you on there where your precinct vote, where you actually vote, because a lot of places have changed. Your precinct has changed, so your voting location has changed, and it'll help guide you to where you need to go. So, that's one of the important things that I really appreciate what you say about IWillVote.com and supporting everybody's, because we only have just a couple of weeks here. October 11th is going to come right up on us. It's sneaking up on us in a hurry. So we only have a few more weeks in order to get this accomplished. And you and I talked earlier, Oklahoma's a non-voting state. Guess what? We've got 1 million eligible aged voters who aren't registered in the state of Oklahoma, which is astounding. And
those that are registered aren't voting; they've disengaged.
Right.
So
right.
even if we have the ones, and not to interrupt you, Kevin, but the other part is too, if you have an ID, you have a driver's license or state ID, make sure that it's valid. So
Right.
that if you don't have your voter ID card, make sure that your license or your picture ID issued by the state or your tribal card with an ID is up to date, that it's not expired, because that's another way that your voice could be hindered if you're registered and you don't have the correct ID or your card. So sorry to interrupt you. I just want to make sure.
No, you're not interrupting me at all. I'm interrupting you because this is your time, not mine.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's important. I think when I talk to young people, and I carry voter registration cards with me, I keep them in my car. I talk about it all the time at the laundromat, at the grocery store. Hey, are you registered to vote? I'm not even saying vote for me, even though I am, down the road. Are you registered to vote? Because that's the one way we can act as citizens to really affect change. And so many have fought for that right so that we could be here to do it. So, yeah.
Well, we've just got a couple of minutes left, and I'm going to change subject just for a little bit.
Sure.
I am doing this podcast from the Cleveland County Democratic Office in Norman, Oklahoma, that's on Gray Street. And again, if you're in the Norman, Oklahoma area, and you want to come by and get signs, please do, but you better hurry up. And here's why. Just in the last 18 minutes that Rosie and I have been here having this conversation, there's been about 20 people come through the door. That is
so great.
Yes.
Awesome.
It goes back to what you talked about at the very beginning, the excitement that people have in the state of Oklahoma for being Democrats. People are coming down to the Democratic office, and it just one right after that. It's a steady flow, and we couldn't be more happy to be able to serve the people of Norman, serve the people of Oklahoma, and get these signs out. It's we really are excited in the state of Oklahoma. Again, we're a non-voting state, but everybody says, well, we're a Republican state because registration on Republicans outdo the Democrats. Well, if you take the Democrats, the independents, the libertarians, plus the disenfranchised Republicans and put them all together, there's no reason for us to be a Republican state. All we got to do is just exercise our vote and vote our own will. Don't just put it up there in the corner and say, all right, I'm just going to vote a Republican and I'm going to keep on going. No, go down and do some research. And it goes back to what you said earlier. Whenever you're talking about voting for the person, here's a very good thing that everybody needs to understand about that ballot. You don't have to start up at the upper left corner and work your way down. Start at the bottom and work up. and make
Yep.
that check mark up there where you're voting straight party, the very last thing that you do. Be an
Yep.
informed voter. So, man, I'll tell you what, I am just, you are a ball of fire. You get me fired up. I just
Oh,
love
good. I'm
having
glad.
these conversations with you, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Kevin. It's a delight to visit with you again. And then just to be available to tell people, there's other choices for people in your county to vote for. There are Democrats that are running. I'm running in House District 16, Rosie Lynch. Um, Reach out to the people that are running that you have not heard from or don't know who they are, and hear what they have to say. I think everybody will be politely and excited about what is brought forward. And for me, in my world, not only Democrats and independents are supporting me, but Republicans asked me to run too. And so
Right.
that's exciting when you hear that it's a bipartisan move towards change. So
So,
yeah.
to help you out,
Yes, sir.
for people to come out and know where to engage with you, the best place to do that is through your Facebook. And I've got it up here on the screen. Rosie Lynch for Oklahoma. Just type that in on your Facebook account. That's the very best way to do that right now. And so please do that as much as you can. Let's build up Rosie Lynch and put her on your list of people, friends that you want to go back and follow, because she really is. And when I say she's a ball of fire, she's been very subdued today because she gets me fired up so fast and so easily. And I mean, she's like a cheerleader, and I'm ready to go run through walls for her because
That's
she is so
awesome.
good. So thank you so much. And you got so many things you're doing, plus running for office. It's just, you're an amazing person. And thanks for coming on Coffee Break with Coffee with Democrats.
Thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to catching up with you later.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Hey guys, I've got a long list of people that are coming on Coffee with Democrats. Today is the 10th. Tomorrow is 9/11. We've got Carrie Keck and Mitch Jacobs that are going to come on tomorrow as veterans to talk about 9/11 and their 9/11 experiences and their service in the military, plus their campaigns. And then we've got Trish Ranson coming in on the 13th. We've got Minority Leader Cindy Munson coming on the 24th. Nathan Brewer from the same area as where Rosie is over there in Okmulgee County. Nathan Brewer, he's going to start his Senate campaign for the 8th District. He's coming on the 20th. Robin Fugia is coming on. She's the Senate District 21. Edmond Democratic Women are coming on next week on the 16th. Annie Menz is coming on the 19th. So folks, please come back and watch us, because we're filling the slot in. We're planning on being here every day until the election. I may have to take some time off. I've got to go get some wind therapy and mountain therapy up in Colorado that I'm going to probably take a week off to go do here the last of September, 1st of October. But please bear with us, because we're excited and we're excited for Rosie. So please support her.
Thank you so much. Have a
All
great
right.
day.
Until the next time, everybody, please be safe. And thanks so much for joining us on Coffee Break on Coffee with Democrats. Take care.